on point today is about the encounter which is on and the ambush which took place on Thursday. But my question is, why Poonch and Rajouri sectors are so different from Valley?
Very correct. Kartikeya now has to understand the complete topography of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, the area which is Poonch and Rajouri, this is south of Pir Panjal. This is heavily density and there are mountains. There are natural caves there and this is very close to line of control. And the area, whenever the infiltration has to take place in Kashmir Valley, then there are two routes. One is that they have to go through basically Samshabadi, starting from Gurez sector, Matsal sector, Karen sector, Tangdhar sector, and then come to your basically Gulmarg sector. But there is another route which is coming from Rajouri Poonch. You cross the LC, cross the Pir Panjal, and then come to the valley. Now, what was happening is, as far as Rajouri Poonch are concerned, from 2000 to 2021, the peace has prevailed there. And it looks like that terrorism is no more existent in, especially in Poonch, Rajouri, Surankot, Thana Mandi area. And therefore, it was looking as if this is a terror-free area. But then what has happened is once Galwan took place and once 3 divisions were brought by the Chinese in Ladakh sector, then this area, since the peace has prevailed there and normalcy has come in, the troops were also moved out from here to go to basically eastern Ladakh. And the troops became less. Now, shift your focus in Kashmir Valley. In Kashmir Valley, what has happened in last about 2 years, especially after Article 370 and 35 has been abrogated, their counter-infiltration grid has been very, very strong and stable. And so is the counter-terrorism grid. There the normalcy has come. All your stone throwing is now, habit of a past. The NIA had choked the money which was coming from ISI to Hurriyat. There is no stone throwing. Grassroots level democracy has taken place by Panchayat election and District Development Council election. Tourism is record time. The IM Medical College, Engineering College, number of roads, railways have come. And also the radicalization which was taking place in South Kashmir, there is quite a bit drop in that. So the complete environment in Jammu and Kashmir Valley is that as on today, there are only 50 to 60 residual terrorists left, when it used to be almost about more than 250 in just about 3 or 4 years back. And the leadership of Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaise Hizbul Mujahideen, has been wiped off, and there are shortage of weapon ammunition. Considering what is happening in Kashmir Valley, and if Pakistan thought that now the situation is totally become normal, they have activated this Poonch Rajouri area. Because Poonch Rajouri area is very close to the LC. Here also, that since the heights are less, the snowfall does not take place in winter. So the infiltration can also take place in winter. Now,
You are
as far
saying
as
these are all weather routes. Basically, you are saying that these routes can be operated all through the year.
absolutely, they can be operated all through the year. And earlier, the terrorists were not using these routes because they could infiltrate in Kashmir Valley through Samshabadi itself, north of Pir Panjal. Since now north of Pir Panjal become very, very difficult, now they have activated this area. Now this area has also 2, 3 more peculiarity. There are Gujars here in Poonch Rajouri, and they have been always pro-India, and they have been always staunch Indians, and a lot of footprints are there also in Indian Army, whether it is Home and Earth Territorial Army, which I was the head for about 2.5 years, or by also in Indian Army. So you always saw that the militancy has not flourished in this area, but in last 2, 3 years, it has surprised Indian Army that the way things are happening, that the whole area has become very active. Now this area has got some advantage to the terrorists. One is it is forested area. It is the visibility is very poor, not high altitude, but mountains are of a semi heights. There are natural caves there, and therefore the terrorist can hide. And earlier they used to be dependent on the villagers for sustenance and logistics. Now there is no more requirement. They stock there in
So
the
this is the
caching.
reason why I'm very happy, sir. You actually, you know, you hit the nail on its head. This is part of the questions I asked at the start of my program. Why are these terrorists using caves? So you are saying that
I
they
know.
lack logistical support. It is for this reason those, you know, they are using those hideouts.
Absolutely. See, what happened is that the moment they are dependent on the villagers for sustenance, their logistic line becomes long, and the chances of they being detected become very high. What they are doing is, since these natural caves are there, they have stocked the natural caves in terms of weapons, ammunition, and logistic. What they need, as far as the villagers are concerned, they need intelligence regarding the security forces. Also, in case some material in terms of weapon ammunition is sent through the drones by the ISI, that these basically overground workers and sleeper cell are used to get these weapons and ammunition to that. So therefore, the point today is they are attracting you in the mountains and hills where they know the area better, and as far as the security forces is concerned, you are at disadvantage. Second thing is they also have got complete knowledge of you because they are using this overground worker and sleeper cell, and they are keeping an eye. So what has happened in last 2 3 years, that the ground sport has also come to these terrorists, and there are OGW which is checking. As on today, there are 25 to 30 hardcore terrorists which were trained in Afghanistan, which were there when they were fighting against the Americans. Since now Taliban has taken over, these terrorists have shifted in POJK. They are available. They are equipped with all American weapon. M4 is the weapon they are using now. M16 is another weapon. So the point is one, that they have got caches and caves. They are operating in this mountainous area which is forested. Also, that they get support from the villager in terms of recce and intelligence, and they are as on today able to operate. And in last 2 years, the casualty which the Indian army has suffered, unfortunately,
Okay.
is about 2025, which is a very large. We are not getting any sort of casualties in Valley now. Maybe very few due to our sometime mistake committed by us or
Okay.
situation out of it. But in Rajouri, Poonch area, the operation which had taken place in last about 1 year especially, we have lost almost about 15 20 of Juan. And the question to ponder is also young officers
Yes. Yes.
also of special forces. So overall, I will say that this is a cause of concern as far as Indian Army concerned.
Correct.
Though we have controlled Kashmir Valley to a very high this thing, as on today we can say things are normal in Kashmir Valley, but this area has all of a sudden got activated, and
Yes.
we have to now change our strategy and tactics. How do we handle this the terrorism within this in Punt Rajouri? Also, how do we respond to Pakistan, which is the one which is sending? And is it Pakistan only, or the China hand is also there? Because China is interested
Okay.
that you activate this area and you make
So
sure
that the
that the
pressure can be
Indians
taken off
are
from the
forced to
LAC.
bring the troops from
Yes.
Ladakh.